The United States is in the business of saving the damn world by any means necessary.
What in the holy hell?
Hello, everyone. I'm Perri Nemiroff with Rotten Tomatoes, and I am so happy to be here sitting with some of the cast behind Creature Commandos, the new DC animated series. Told you, I've seen a couple episodes now. I'm delighted by your show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start with a big group question here because I love the fact there's so many different perspectives on this, because some of you have already been in DC projects, others have been in other superhero projects, and then I believe this is your first time stepping into this realm. So for each of you personally, what does it mean to be a part of a project that is essentially kicking off a new wave of DC shows and films?
Frank?
Oh, you're looking at me? Am I the one?
Yeah.
Start that show.
You kick it off.
It's awesome. It's very cool. I've done a few of these like superhero type things now. But what I really love about Creature Commandos is how it's kind of integrated into this larger world, and you don't need to know the rest of it. You don't need to watch the other anything else. You can just go focus on this one little weird corner of it for a bit, and it's a nice place to spend some time for a little while.
Weird is the key word.
Yes.
Weird attracts me to shows and films, and I like it. Anyone else want to jump in on that one?
It's weird to be in the first iteration of a new universe or world. It doesn't feel like that to us, because, I mean, Frank and I have been working recently on Peacemaker. He worked on Superman, and it's all part of that same world, which is yet to come out. But until you just said it, it didn't really hit me that this is like the first part of this.
And the fact that I would be invited to do anything the first, usually I'm coming in on the 6th or the 7th. And so this is a treat. It's a treat.
Or the second, where you're in the Purge franchise and you're crushing it.
That's right. And then we go to the 3rd. That's right. Good reminder. See, I had one success.
I feel like I won the lottery getting to join this universe. And it does feel fitting that it's with Nina Mazursky, who is kind of a relatively unknown character. So we get to be new together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that I'm here as well. For me, it was a dream to work with James on something else, because I met him on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I got to play Cosmo. So when he came to me with this and be like, oh, I'm writing this character, and you're going to be a part of Creature Commandos, I was like, what? What is this? And that big thing is going to be the first project of the new DC universe. It brings a bit of a responsibility, I feel like, and I think it's a good show. It's actually a really good show that we haven't really seen before. So I'm excited for people to watch it.
Can confirm from the viewer perspective. Spot on. Alan, you want to add anything?
I'm excited to be in this. What I loved about it was, like anything, you read it, and it was good. And like really good. So that's when I got really excited. I mean, I wanted to work with James, but that's when I had a lot of gratitude. Like, oh, wow, this is going to be a cool journey to go on, but for people to see.
So far, so good. I want to see more. Before I jump into character specifics, another broader question, because again, I love the weird, I love the R-rated, I love gory and bloody things, and you give me that in this show. Can each of you tell me a particular big swing you took while recording that kind of leans into that maybe made you stop and go, like, my God, maybe this is too much. I don't know if they're ever going to use it, but now we're going to be able to see and or hear it in the finished show.
We recorded this like over a year ago, right? I don't remember. And for me, it was one quick day, and I did like all my lines like in order. I wasn't working with another person, and so it was just me and James, and I would say a line, and he would say, moving on, or try this, do this. Then again, I wasn't playing a monster, so I'm playing a human, so it's a little bit more practical of a read.
My character's origin story. I've done a lot of animation, but I have not done anything like the origin story that Dr. Phosphorus has. It's like Sean Penn, Mystic River, like level of tragedy. Yeah, it is out there. So it's hanging way out there. So
Do you say, is that my daughter?
I did, and they said, Scott,
Too much.
what?
Is that my daughter?
He's like, you can see it's your daughter. She's right in front of you. And actually, it was my daughter. My wife and my daughter. It's really heart-wrenching. And I'm only one of many moments that really squeeze your heart.
Yeah.
It might be hypertension, but I do have a terrible diet. But yeah.
It's all that oat milk.
Yeah.
When you say big swing, I can't help but think about being in the booth. This wasn't that long ago, actually, but being in the booth and hearing, and I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler, but getting the direction of just bigger, longer crotch lick.
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Though. I get it.
Yeah. So I really went for it there.
Longer.
And that was for the GI robot.
I found it really hard to do talking underwater, and so did some water bottle work that
Did you go to Juilliard?
I didn't, but I did go to theater school. I also found being a baby, I had to be baby Nina, and that was challenging. Do you guys have a good baby?
I have a bad baby. I don't have a good baby.
Well, yeah, like I have a bad baby too, but
I have played a baby raccoon in the movies.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm a veteran.
I've killed babies.
I too went to theater school, clearly.
I know, that's weird.
Again, weird is the appropriate
I
word
know,
here. As
I
long as
know.
you're leaning into that, we're fine.
I'm okay. All right.
Maria, anything for you?
I mean, our sessions together were a little bit challenging because we were.
We had sex. We had violent sex at times, and we were in the. She was in one country, and I was in another country.
Yeah.
We managed.
And we shared screen on Zoom in front of a few people, and
Yeah.
For
we
like
had to have
$9.99 a minute.
Yeah.
It's an awesome scene.
I mean, at some point, he was saying louder. James was saying
louder.
Ah!
It's a great scene. I've seen it 30 or 40 times.
did you also get louder, longer crotch lick?
Crotch lick.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see how that's a reusable note. All right, let's get into some character specifics. Frank, I'm coming your way first with Rick Flag Sr. because I've heard him described as the Sam Jackson of this universe. So, two-part question about that. What is something about Nick Fury and Marvel that he kind of mirrors? And then also, what is something about him as a leader here that makes him wholly unique?
Wow, those are good questions. I think what mirrors the kind of Sam Jackson vibe is just that he's integrated into so many of the stories. And like Sam Jackson, who seems to be in every single movie ever made, aside from even Marvel, James has done the same thing, intertwining Rick Flag Sr. in a very cool way, specifically in Peacemaker. Like I'm a very different kind of Rick Flag in Peacemaker than I am in Creature Commandos. Kind of a little bit more evolved. And that's the same with Sam Jackson. It's the same thing that they did with Sam Jackson. Is he was kind of like the through line for a lot of the movies, or at least the familiar line for a lot of the movies. And what was the second part?
Something about him as a leader that makes him wholly unique from Nick Fury.
I just think his physique. One, I think a small waist and big shoulders is what people want to follow.
Well, I got a follow-up to that because we were busy prepping for these interviews and coming up with questions, and a lot of people are very well aware of the fact that you are likely to become the new dad internet meme from being in this in animated form and then taking the role into live action. Are you prepared? Have you looked at how like Pedro Pascal has dealt with that over the past?
Well, and he's in no shape like me, but but I am prepared, and I have prepared my entire life for this moment, and I thank James Gunn for all of it.
That is very much not like a me question to ask, and the second they brought it up, I'm like, oh, that's inevitable. So
Really,
I have to ask about it.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite fun to follow all that stuff online,
Wow.
especially when it's well deserved. And I have a feeling all of that is coming your way soon.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I got to go now.
Sean and Steve, I wanted to come your way next just to talk a little bit about your evolving collaboration with James. Is there anything about how he likes to work and lead a project when it's live action that carries over to animation? But then also, can you tell me something about how he works on an animated story that's completely different?
I think that at least from the standpoint of reading the scripts it's very similar. I mean, they're James is a storyteller, and I don't think it matters that the final product is animated as opposed to live action. I think the approach to writing is very much the same. But as far as like executing that, it was pretty different. I mean, he did direct a lot of the acting, but he also had to sort of hand it off to other people and put some trust in the animators and things like that, which was interesting. But it always, the thing about James, and I know you'd say, everyone says it, is it's just so detailed. I mean, everything is there. So he's got all of it in his head somewhere. It's just a matter of like mining it properly and getting it out.
Yeah, it's like he said, the scripts are, I mean, if you were to have read Suicide Squad, that could have been an animated series. There's a giant talking shark. So the anime, it just is a script that happens to be also animated. The only difference was, for me, I think I'm in 4 of the 7 episodes, and I did all my work in one day as opposed to 6 months. It was a lot easier, but in some ways it's more difficult because I'm not working with another person, but a lot faster.
I'll follow up on that briefly. Is there anything about playing this role but only focusing on the voice work that helped you discover a new layer to that character, where everything else like faded away and you were specifically focused on what he was saying and nothing else?
No, it's pretty much the same through live action and animation. Again, he's a human. He's very similar to me in a lot of aspects, so I didn't have to, do any more research than I normally would have had to.
I'll take that, but I want more layers to him always. I look forward to seeing his journey in this franchise.
I do too.
Maria, I'm going to come your way now to talk a little bit about your continued collaboration with James. What is something about your experience working with him on Guardians 3 and the Holiday Special that made you stop and go like, my God, he's a good creative partner for me, and I got to keep working with him?
Oh, I mean, if you meet him, if you get a chance to speak with him, if you get a chance to work with him, you're just falling in love with him as a human being. Like his dedication to the work, to the craft, his kind personality, his supportive leadership, everything is just fascinating. It's incredible. You just dream to work with somebody like him. He has the vision. He has the ability to guide you throughout the whole process, and at the same time to do it like you're doing it with a friend of yours, which he's like, I'm admiring him. Like for me, he's like an idol. Yet at the same time, I can speak openly in front of him, which is incredible. When he gives you freedom to do and to try different ways of saying a line, doing something, he's guiding you how to do it. So it's not like stepping it back. I'm not going to be the director here. You do it yourself. He does do this thing that makes you feel comfortable enough to try approaching stuff in your way, but yet guiding you brilliantly. And following what they said, James is creatively so incredible. Like he knows how to write things that you don't want to change. He knows how to direct things that you don't want to change. When you look at it at the end, when you see the picture, the vision, the sound, the setting, the characters that feel real. It doesn't even make sense. Is it that necessarily animation is necessarily feature film? These people sound real, which is unfortunately lacking nowadays. Like we hear dialogues that are like, do you really speak like this? And with these creatures that are even creatures, not human, you can relate to them, even though they're not very much creatures that you can empathize with. You find yourself rooting for them and liking them, which is strange, but yeah, I think he's a genius.
Consistently make stories about a band of misfits who feel real and authentic and have great heart no matter what they're up to. And it always makes me feel like they are real, but I want to be friends with them and spend more time with them, which is what draws me to all of his work.
And they're funny.
Yeah.
You want to be friends with Phosphorus? Are you nuts?
I do.
I mean,
Sure.
He's
I am
literally
tempted.
toxic.
Bringing up Sam Jackson, I'm the kind of person that even though the Jurassic movies have told me this is a bad idea, I want to see someone bring dinosaurs back if it was possible. So I learned nothing from these stories. I
Wow.
still want to hang out with like the bad
Yeah.
people and
All right.
play in these worlds. So
All right.
that's where I'm at with my life right now.
Sweet.
So
And what was your childhood like?
literally screaming Jurassic Park. And so I wanted to come your way to focus a little bit on Nina, particularly one aspect of her experience in the show that really struck me in the beginning episodes. It's her relationship with the bride, which I thought was a really beautiful friendship to see develop. But I know a lot of times in animation, you don't get the opportunity to work with your co-star, with your scene partner. So is it a situation where you can talk to Indira and, prepare that at all? Or is it more placing the trust in James and the team that chemistry will come through in the end?
I mean, James is so smart in many ways, and one of the smart things he does is he paired a bunch of us together. So Indira and I worked she was in London and I was in New York, but we got to develop the relationship in the studio with James, and it was really exciting. I mean, she's such a powerhouse. Her as bride, I just cannot imagine a better union. And we played a lot together, and I learned a lot about Nina through Bride, actually. Even though they're opposites, they share really sad origin stories that I think bond them. But yeah, it was such a treat.
It's a really powerful part of the show thus far. I love that aspect of it. Alan, you have had your fair share of experience playing DC villains. Clayface,
Oh, yes.
Joker, Mr.
Right.
Nobody. What is something about those past experiences that came in handy here, but also what is something super unique about Dr. Phosphorus?
The other DC villains that I play are in Harley Quinn, which is very comedic. It's a straight up comedy, whereas this one is a drama that is funny, that has humorous elements within it, but it is action and it's drama and passion. Clayface is a moron. That's the perfect. I think it's a spoiler. I don't think I've been able to. Anyway, I play actually Clayface in this series, so I play Clayface in Harley Quinn, and he sounds like this, and he's an idiot, and he's always like, what's my motivation here? Daddy didn't love me. Yeah, it's that.
Jesus, you are phenomenal.
It's like
I feel
then
like a frog sitting here.
and then in this, Clayface is a killer. He's we have a huge fight, and he's a homicidal maniac, and it's the same character. That's what's great. That's really cool about DC. I get to play the actual same character two completely different ways, and I like them both. They're it's really nice that James let me play Clayface. I was so happy. I didn't even have to ask. I was going to ask when I saw it in there, and he let me know that I got to do it.
Nice.
Well, bringing that up, James has said that in his DC universe, he wants the same actor to play the same character, no matter the medium. So for everybody who has not played their character in live action form yet, or is maybe doing so now, sorry, Steve, you've already done this,
Okay.
Can you tell me a specific part of your Creature Commandos character that you would be most eager to play with in live action form?
I mean, the veterans told me I shouldn't look forward to this. But Nina, the way that she eats is she puts food through a chute in her collar, and then the food goes into the water tank helmet, bubbles, and she pulls that's how she
Like a
eats.
fish.
Yeah, like a fish. Yeah.
That's a long day of shooting in live action, I can
Yeah.
tell you that much.
As a newbie, it sounds really fun. I think the first time would be really fun.
Well, I played Weasel live action, so I would be
Yeah.
reprising, and I guess G.I. Robot. I guess the same thing. Most fun part will be putting on that suit with the balls and the lights and the colored bars and things like that.
I'd look forward to the Mystic River origin story prior to his, because it's terrible, and I'd love to do that.
It's really grim.
Yeah, it's grim. It's awful.
Why do we love to do that, though? Right? How do we
Yeah.
They're sickos.
Yeah.
Is that my dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like, I have those as an actor. I have that same level of emotion about why are you in the left lane and you're not turning left. So I can apply that to my wife and daughter being killed in front of me.
Oh my God.
Marie,
I
you
have
wanna
an
take us home with
operatic
this one?
life.
I mean, I would love to see Ilana real live action. We'll see about this because she's not like she's original character that James has written. She's not a part of Creature Commandos team. So I don't know how this will work itself.
Well,
But she
I'll tell
is
you
a
how.
layered character, so so we don't know. I don't know what's gonna be her journey. Like she has been just a newborn, like just 2 years ago.
I think there's a.
You can say it if you want.
It's whatever.
I got ideas. And I see the paths certain things are heading down. I will honestly and wholeheartedly tell you right now, after watching 5 episodes, I love it. It's hugely entertaining, super creative. The detail is through the roof. And it also has that quintessential James Gunn heart that keeps me coming back to all of his projects. So thank you for sharing some of your experience making Creature Commandos with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for loving
Very
it.
much.